say hands, you say up. Hands.
You know, I can't tell you how proud I am of Albuquerque, of New Mexico. You've always shown up. You have always shown up. And as a Palestinian American, I know I have always found solid solidarity on Palestine all the time. I am proud of you as a community. You've always had my back, and I'm looking forward to you having it in the months to come. I want to step back for a minute to talk about some of my organizing here in Albuquerque. I'm part of the Peace Center, part of the Southwest Organizing Project, a big part of the fabric of this community. And I co-organized so many a march, so many an event that championed immigrant rights, human rights, climate justice, indigenous rights, Palestinian rights, anti-war issues. When Reverend Barber came to town, we marched to say no against racism and the mass shootings in Charleston. When the Pittsburgh shootings happened, we marched together with the Jewish community against anti-Semitism. When families were separated, we were the first to march up and storm the governor's office. When the Muslim ban came about, we were the first to go out and support Muslims in the airports and in the streets. I will never forget that. This is who you are. This is who Albuquerque and New Mexico is. You are champions of justice. You stand solid. When Trump said, who remembers his 2015 attack on women? Who remembers that? Derogatory language. Grab him by the pussy. What did we do? We roared and marched nationally and marched here, and we continue to march every year. This is who we are as a community. We've always said no to injustice. And today, the fight is bigger than we've ever imagined. Today's the fight for our democracy, for our civilization, for what makes us American. What do we stand for? What do we stand for? For justice, a united justice. We cannot stand for the injustices in our community and ones that our government fund. We will not tolerate what is happening in Gaza. Hands off Gaza! Hands off Gaza! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Well, we see the attacks on our Medicaid, our Medicare. So many millions of Americans were already below the poverty line. 40 million Americans were below the poverty line. Now over 36 million will be affected by the cuts by Medicaid. Is this tolerable in a democracy? It is not acceptable. We will not accept that. Will you accept the attacks on our unions? Will you accept the attacks on our climate justice? Will you accept the attacks on our liberty? Will you accept the attacks of freedom of speech? Will you support the students that have been disappeared and erased and arrested? I need to hear you roar and support! Mahmoud and Teresa were just students. Anybody who saw the arrests of Teresa should be so frightened. Should be so frightened at what it's had. Imagine me, a hijabi woman who's already targeted just by what I wear, how I choose to profess my religion. Just attacked by masked men who come up to you to say, we're arresting you, and professing to be the government. It is unacceptable, the fear tactics they have put in our community. But will we capitulate to fear? No! Will we capitulate to the oligarchy? Will we capitulate to fascism? Will we capitulate to the technocrats? I'm asking you to stand strong and demand that your representatives call for a ceasefire. We must stand up to demand what we all agreed on. We voted for. We want our representatives to always represent what we want. We are the base. We are the people. Our representatives have to reflect our demands. I'm very proud of Senators Martin Heinrich and Ben Ray Lujan for supporting Senator Sanders and trying to block the aid, $8.8 billion, with more bombs just to drop on tents made out of cloth and plastic to bomb children. Who saw the children's bodies fly up 2 days ago? I have not been able to speak. I feel so hopeless. Gazans are giving their goodbyes. Do you know what that's like as a Palestinian to hear this? I feel so defeated. But I came here today and I remember the community I'm a part of. You are fighters. We are one community. We are one humanity. Demand the genocide end. Demand humanity. Recognize the humanity of Palestinians. To please stand in solidarity, a united community. You cannot forget the Palestinians in Gaza, because here's what I will tell you. These students that were arrested and disappeared, they're made an example for all of you, so you don't raise your voice. They're targeting the Palestinians because they're an easy target. They've so dehumanized us for decades, but especially in the last 2 years. It's unacceptable. You must center Gaza in your fight for your democracy. If you don't understand Gaza is your compass for justice, then you missed the point. Then they would have divided us. Fight for Gaza like you would fight for your home. Fight for the children like you would fight for your own children. Because that's what's at stake. I ask of you to come together in unity. And, today I have to remember Angela Davis. And her famous saying, I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. So as we fight, I'm a firm believer in prayer. We fight through prayer. We fight through litigation. We fight in protest. Non-violent civil disobedience. You name it, we find every tool to stand up and take back this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ernesto Longa.
Attacks on funding. On February 14th, the Trump administration directed the University of New Mexico to end all race-based programs or risk losing federal funding. UNM, a Hispanic and minority-serving institution, quickly signaled its intent to cooperate with the Trump administration. And just days ago, capitulated to their threats by revising its policies related to recruitment and hiring, equal opportunity, prohibited discrimination, and affirmative action. UNM law professor Laura Gomez commented that the revisions to the recruitment and hiring policy will increase racial disparities, such that before long we will have a UNM faculty and staff that looks like the 1950s. Attacks on speech. Last spring, in response to the ongoing genocide in Gaza, including the destruction of all of Gaza's universities, UNM students joined a national solidarity movement by establishing a pro-Palestinian encampment at the UNM duck pond. Their demands were for disclosure of UNM's investments in divestment from Israel. And the university's response was a mixture of indifference, paternalism, and state violence. Incredibly, the UNM administration elected to destroy the encampment on May 15th, the day Palestinians commemorate the Nakba. Since then, the university has sought to silence pro-Palestine speech by further regulating campus protests, now requiring 6-week advance notice for any gathering that may interfere with campus functions. Limiting public comment at Board of Regent meetings, failing to fulfill their commitment to provide meaningful investment disclosure, and refusing to even consider a motion for divestment, choosing instead to hide behind the principle of institutional neutrality. Today, UNM desperately needs the type of leadership shown by former UNM President Tom Ferrer, who led the call for divestment from apartheid South Africa in the mid-'80s. Regarding academic freedom, the UNM administration is now proposing to strike from our collective bargaining agreement faculty's right to be free from discipline or censorship for public statements just like this one. A right recognized by UNM's Board of Regents nearly 60 years ago. Attacks on immigrants. The Trump administration is now arresting and disappearing international students from our campuses across the country because they have dared to speak out against the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently reported that they have revoked hundreds of visas, adding gleefully, "We do it every day." Hands off our students. Free Mahmoud Khalil. To fight back, to defend higher education in our democracy, we must harness the collective power of our unions, our students in our communities. We must build a movement that not only resists the forces of austerity and authoritarianism, but also advances a vision of higher ed as a project that preserves and extends social equality and the common good, as a project of social emancipation. Join UNM faculty, staff, and students on April 17th at noon outside Scholes Hall, just west of the Duck Pond, and help us build that anti-authoritarian movement. Solidarity forever, free Palestine!
Good afternoon, I'm here representing the ACLU of New Mexico with my 13-year-old son. It's so good to see you here today. Thank you to the organizers. Can we give a big round of applause to the organizers? And thank you to all of you for sending a loud and clear message to Trump and Musk. We will not bend the knee to oligarchy. We will not submit to authoritarianism. And we will not allow the billionaire class to destroy our democracy. I've been invited here today to speak about free speech. The First Amendment defines who we are as a country. It protects our right to speak, protest, publish, learn, and dissent without fear of punishment from the government. Without it, we are not a free country. And yet, in the first few months of his second term, Trump has launched a sweeping assault on this foundational freedom. He has jailed students for political expression. He has threatened colleges and universities that defend academic freedom. He has sanctioned lawyers for representing clients he doesn't like, and he has punished journalists who refuse to bend to his will. Trump and Musk want to silence us. Let us send a resounding response.
We the people will not be silent!
We stand with everyone who dares to speak freely, whether their views are popular or not. We know that free speech is hard work. It requires us to listen to people who say things we disagree with, right? And we know that free speech alone is not enough. It must be joined with the work of cooperative democracy, harnessing the best of our shared values of solidarity, democratic participation, and care. Over the next weeks and months, we must do the uncomfortable work of listening to people who disagree with us, building connections in community, not shutting people out or shouting them down, but bringing them in through small and large acts of cooperation and care each day. What does this mean? We will listen to the cashier at the grocery store, and we will call our legislators. We will volunteer in our schools, and we will email our governor. We will check in on our elders and show up at city council meetings. We will bring coffee to striking workers and blankets and food to our unhoused neighbors. And we will show up to canvass and vote in every election. We will bring groceries to a struggling young family and continue to show up at protests in the months and the years ahead. We will be relentless and bold in our acts of free speech and resistance, and relentless and bold in our acts of democratic cooperation. Because together, through people power, the power of neighbors and strangers joining together, working together, doing the hard work of democracy, Trump and Musk cannot stop us. We will build a thriving, resilient community where all of us belong. Thank you.
As a follower of Jesus, I have to tell you, Jesus told us that when we visit him in prison, when we visit anyone in prison, we visit him as you do to the least of these, my brothers, my sisters, my siblings, you do unto me. How we treat our immigrant community matters. So I would invite you to join in the coalition of organizations that are standing up in our state to keep our state an immigrant-friendly place. I would invite you to do so today by calling our governor and asking her to sign Senate Bill 36, which would safeguard immigrant rights here, safeguard their information from ICE. I would ask you to go look up the phone number for State Senator Joseph Cervantes and let him know that you want to see New Mexico end immigrant detention if we have a special session. Finally, I would invite you to follow our incredible immigrant advocates here in New Mexico. The New Mexico Immigrant Law Center, El Centro, Somos, the New Mexico Dream Team. There are incredible leaders in this state working to defend immigrants. Join us. Thank you for standing up today. Keep standing up tomorrow and the day after for our immigrant community. God bless you. Que Dios les bendiga.
This legacy is under attack. Since January, we have witnessed how the Trump administration has set out to attack and intimidate our immigrant and working communities based on racial profiling and anti-immigrant racist tropes. I, like many others, feel afraid that at any moment, ICE could come and take away the peace and stability of my family by separating us through deportation. We are hearing that parents are afraid to take their children to school. Families are afraid to attend mass at church. Parks and open spaces now look empty because people are scared, especially as we see deportations on the news every day. We are honest people who try to follow the rules every day because we want peace in our lives. And above all, we want to continue growing and helping our state grow with us. And that's all for the well-being of the new generations, our children. We are proud of the economic, civic, and cultural contributions of our communities. Immigrants make up about 11% of the workforce and contribute approximately $1.4 billion in federal, state, and local taxes every year. This helps fund essentially government services such as schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. This is why we must lean into our proud legacy. We will not remain silent. We invite you to join our immigrant-led movement. We will not let Trump administration destroy what we have built up in New Mexico. Hands off, Trump.
So the other person that I have to give thanks to for my life in social justice, of course, is Cesar Chavez. Yes. Que viva Cesar Chavez! Que viva Dolores Huerta! One of the most powerful quotes that Cesar gave us, and it's very important for today. I quote Cesar Chavez, "We draw our strength from the very despair in which we have been forced to live, but we shall endure." Yes. This quote is particularly appropriate today because it speaks to the resilience and determination of all that are facing injustice and hardship in their lives. It also underscores the need to find strength in adversity. Strength in adversity. Yes. And to be able to persevere in the face of challenges. Very appropriate today. Yes. And the other quote I want to share is, "Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform this world." This is where we say, "Sí se puede." Sí se puede. And the other, and Father, I can't remember his name, stole my other chant, but it's really appropriate. And it is, and you repeat after me, "El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido." So for those of you who don't know what El Pueblo Unido Jamás Será Vencido means, it's the people united shall never be divided. The people united shall never be divided. The people united shall never be divided. Thank you. Yes. talk about and chant in the streets, the power of the people is stronger than the power of the government. The power of the people is stronger than the power of the government. The power of the people is stronger. In this case, it's so very appropriate also. So I'm here to tell you that we must take this energy and take it to the streets, to our work, to our neighborhoods, to our communities, every single day until we knock Trump out of office. We are pledging today and every day, we are pledging to ensure that not only is he taken out of office, replaced in whatever it is, 4 years, and make sure that Project 2025 goes with him once and for all. In solidarity with all our hardworking families to preserve their jobs to the largest extent that we can, and if we can't, we take it to the streets again. And we need to stand in solidarity with organized labor and use them as an example of the power to organize. Organized labor gave us the model, just like the United Farm Workers gave us the model. Yes, that's the model that we are obligated, and we must follow and resurrect once again. If it worked then, it will work now. So we just have to remember. And the final point that I need to make and must make is that we have to understand that this is a global crisis. The oligarchs want to take over the world. So we have to stand with the people of the world. We have to stand with the people of the world. We cannot allow, and I'm not calling them corporate, that's easy. They are oligarchs. Nothing less than oligarchs. And their only intent is to protect their interests alone. And the only way that we can go up and defend our populations across the world is to fortify, strengthen, and be standing in solidarity with the peoples of the world.
Foundation, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ellen Bernstein.
Good afternoon, Albuquerque, and good afternoon to the people who make Albuquerque work, the working class. I'm Ellen Bernstein. I'm the president of ATF, and I represent over 6,000 educators across the public school system when I say, hands off public ed. Public education serves the public good. Trump wants to dismantle the Department of Education. Here in New Mexico, that department supports over 340,000 students across 800 public schools. Right now, we are staring down the barrel of over $400 million in estimated cuts to services for our students. Well, Trump says, don't worry, that money's still going to flow to your schools. But I say, I don't trust that. Do you? Trump claims this is all about returning education to the states. But yet, just this last week, his administration sent out a memo to all the public schools where he threatened to withdraw billions of dollars in Title I funding if our districts refuse to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. If this is all about returning education to our state, why does he have to threaten us? Let me be clear, everything that Trump does is just to create chaos and fear, and chaos and fear create uncertainty. Our job as educators is to create and provide stability for our students, for our families. Chaos and fear just makes our jobs harder. My friends, we have the fight of our lives ahead of us. If we don't fight, we risk losing everything. I want you to take a good look at the people around you. We are educators, nurses, construction workers, bus drivers, business owners. No matter how hard they try to convince us or convince anybody that we're different because of the color of our skin or who we believe in or don't believe in, our sexual orientation or where we were born, we know we have more in common with each other than we do with the oligarchs trying to turn our country into a kleptocracy. So what I'm talking about here is solidarity. There is more of us than there are of them. Let me borrow a metaphor from a great labor union. Hold up your hand. You see that we are all separated. There's space in between us. But look what happens when we make a fist. This is us coming together in solidarity. This is what the labor movement is all about. When you leave here today, all of us need to commit to busting out of our social media bubbles and really forging solidarity with our colleagues, with our neighbors, with our communities. People, public education is for the public good. Social Security is for the public good. Medicaid and Medicare are for the public good. Public health, USAID, that's for our fellow humans. All of us here today stand for the public good of all people. So we will keep showing up. We will keep standing up. Your next opportunity for all of us will be May 1st, Workers' Day. We are diverse. Our students are diverse. We stand for the public good. We stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Hands off public education, Donald Trump. Thank you.
Mexico Commission on the Status of Women. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenifer, Raphael, Getz.
Hello, Albuquerque. Good to see everyone. What an amazing honor it is to be in the presence of all of these great New Mexicans and then to be here with you all. Thank you for braving the cold. Thank you for standing up and using your voices and your power. My name is Jenifer Raphael Getz. I'm the director of the New Mexico Commission on the Status of Women. We are a state commission that was established in statute in the 1970s to support the women of New Mexico, and we work in the areas of health, safety, and economic security. I'm here today to speak about some of the ways in which our federal government has failed the women in our country, and in some cases is actively working to destroy our rights. Our federal government has blocked women's access to health care through legislation, regulation, judicial appointments, and legal action, and to them I say, hands off. Our federal government has revoked protections against sexual harassment, sexual assault, and discrimination at work and in our schools, and to them I say, hands off. Our government has failed to reduce the cost of childcare and made little progress on paid family leave. These are rights we all need. These are rights that women need, and I say, hands off. Finally, our government has recently removed Women's History Month celebrations from the federal calendar and banned celebrations relating to women's history and other observances through executive order. And I say to them, hands off! So, what can we do here today to support the women in our communities, in your state and in your country? So for the men in the crowd, have a transparent conversation in your workplace about wages that you are paid. Talk to your female counterparts about what they make. Talk openly about pay. Post equal pay law posters in your workplace. Vote for political candidates who support the rights of women. Vote for women. Stop agreeing with the women in your life who point out inequities that they face and start actively opposing the inequities. For our men, show up, stand up for the women in your lives. What about our women? For the women in the crowd, advocate for family-friendly workplaces that have job sharing, flexible work hours, and facilities for breastfeeding mothers. Work on a political campaign or run for office. Join a school board, neighborhood association, chamber of commerce, run for city council or county commission. Get out there and become active. In this crowd, show up, stand up, and lean in to the challenges we face. Now is the time. So finally, to sum it up, if you need help, if you need suggestions, where you can find resources, reach out to the Commission on the Status of Women. We look forward to standing together with the women of New Mexico. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for supporting Albuquerque and our state.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the man. His name is Frank Smith, 10 years in the United States Marine Corps. He is the new chair of our Veterans Family Member Caucus for the Democratic Party in the state of New Mexico. Step by there, buddy.
My message to this administration is, when it comes to the Veterans Administration, keep your hands off. When it comes to veterans benefits, keep your hands off. You know, New Mexico is a patriotic state. 8% of our population is served in the military. And when it comes to our indigenous population, they've served at twice that rate. There are There are 123,000 veterans in New Mexico. Many of them receive their health care through the VA hospital here in Albuquerque and dozens in rural clinics across the state. But this so-called Department of Government Efficiency, an illegal entity with no real oversight, is planning to cut 83,000 jobs from the VA. This reckless move would hurt veterans here in New Mexico and across the country. Veterans will lose access to their health care that they've been promised. Employees will lose jobs. Wait times will increase and specialized care will disappear. Veterans will be pushed into a civilian healthcare system that's already overburdened. This won't just impact veterans, it'll impact all of us. This isn't about cutting waste, this is about laying waste to the VA system. But let me ask you, are we gonna let this happen? We are brave, we are fierce, we know how to fight, and we will not back down. I urge you to join the New Mexico Veterans and Military Families Caucus or Common Defense and push back against DOGE and these illegal cuts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. I'm Jeff Swanson. I served 4 years in the Marine Corps, 67 to 71, did Vietnam, 69 to 70 in helicopters with these amazing corpsmen like Rod Sanchez, is it? Dodging bullets. I mean, we had guns, they didn't. God bless you, sir. Then I served for 26 more years. My last overseas was the trauma hospital in Iraq during a surge with America's sons and daughters at the most attacked spot, and I was the oldest one there. And before every battle, every fight, I would look around and I would look, just take a quick look, because it might be my last moments of life, and say, what do I see? I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm going to tell you what I see. But first, some suggestions. One, stick together. We're going to need each other. The ideologies, the sentiments and these signs, the expressions of the enthusiasm just didn't come out of a Cracker Jack box somewhere. It was developed in adversity in your lives, and we're going to need each other. So keep on sticking together. And the second thing we can do is pull back and disperse into small groups. Sun Tzu, arguably the world's most astute warrior thousands of years ago, wrote that the ones with the best commitment to their cause and the ones with the best plans are going to prevail every time. And what's going to happen when we get into these small groups is we're going to use the energy and the thoughts that we have, and we're going to bring upon each other's spirits and experiences, ideas of ways to engage, because we're really in a fight that has global implications for terrible evil to happen. Now, we've got each other. Here's my wife, Donna. She goes way back to the Mayflower with her relatives in the Revolutionary War. And you see all these people out here with this tremendous diversity that you all have and you bring to this fight. There is tremendous strength. So what do I see when I look around right now? Well, I see ground zero and us at the point of the tip of the spear to shape America's future. And this is the bottom line of what I see. Keen minds, brave hearts, one and all. We didn't start this fight, but we're gonna prevail.
Battle lines being drawn. They make their right, but we know we're wrong. The Constitution is clear, saying we the people don't have king ground. Every time we stop, they stop that crew, because we can't hold that crew. Put your boots on your feet. Going down, boots marching in the freedom. Stand strong and carry on. Till the liberty is all of us. stop that too. Everybody sing out moment two. Stop, hey, stop that too. Everybody sing out moment two. Stop, hey, stop that too. Everybody sing out moment two. Stop. Just like let's stop looking out the front. Forget the kings, the king as we are blazing for a trunk. We are by the reason, cause his head is up his rump. We all move daughters on. Lordy, Lordy, hallelujah. With the light of shining through. But go never let them through. Your spirit,